Not much of a drama in today's trade for the Indian equity market, especially the benchmark Nifty. A gain of 125 points to close above that 17,500 mark. But yes, not much volatility, not much drama, price drama is what I probably was expecting. Good evening, everyone. 25th of November 2021, Thursday evening, 31 minutes past 6 p.m. And we are looking at an index. This is the daily chart of Nifty, which is essentially consolidating for the last 3 days, 3 trading sessions. The 17,350, 450 range is still proving itself to be a decent zone of support, and the index decides to spend some time here. But I think today's session was more of Reliance rather than anything else or anyone else. I think that the stock did not like that. How can Mr. Ambani slip from being the richest in Asia? So come on, let's go up. Let's increase the market cap, the free float market cap of the company. Anyways, jokes aside, but it was definitely Reliance Industries, which was right from the beginning, from the very opening, not only gained, but a heavyweight like that, an index heavyweight like that, supported throughout the day's trade for the Nifty. In terms of the short-term trend, we would take a look at the 75-minute time frame, and we are still in a short-term downtrend. We can see that down here, that 350, 450 zone did see some bit of volumes coming in, which is a good sign because we expected that price range to act as supports, and so far so good. It's acting as a source of support. Trend, however, is still down. We've got some levels on the upside, 17,680, 17,700 kind of levels. We have a point of control here. So it's not that from the supports the index have managed a bounce back. It's just kind of stabilizing there. The bounce back or the length of the bounce in terms of price gains is not significant. It's okay, no complaints. However, if I go back to the daily chart and if you take a closer look on a day-to-day basis, this red candle and today's green candle, you'll clearly notice a sequence of lower highs and lower lows. Today was an opening low for the index, which means that the opening price and the low price was the same from the very beginning. And so a break below this kind of lows generally triggers further selling. The low for the day was 17,320. And we will use this as a trigger. If this breaks going forward, then this will act as a signal of follow through selling. Vice versa on the upside, which I mentioned in my yesterday's video, that a move above this red candle's high, yesterday's high, I call this kind of candles decoy bars, 17,605, above which the possibility of this bounce back is much higher, much greater, that it will extend towards 650, 750 and probably more than that. So we can say that we are kind of stuck between 350, 450 on the downside and 650, 750 on the upside. And who knows, the index can continue to spend some time within this range for a significant amount of time, possible. So in terms of the strategy, nothing much changes. Let's stay careful, cautious. Nothing much has happened on the bullish side unless few stocks supporting like Reliance and Bharti Airtel. But overall, I will still suggest let's start the new month contracts tomorrow morning, and let's see how it plays out. Let's see how the weekly charts look like after tomorrow's close. And then we can slowly get back to a bullish mode or a bearish mode depending on price. But as of now, I think staying put and observing the market from a medium-term perspective is not a bad plan. Bank Nifty, however, if you notice, was significantly underperforming in today's trade. And on the other hand, I would say that the Nifty outperformance was more so because of Reliance, Bharti Airtel, and the banks did not actually do that great. Still within this blue zone and consolidating. Today's was more like a spinning top, so was yesterday. But the range contracted. A look at the smaller time frames, the 75-minute time frame clearly shows that it bounced back towards the moving averages and now kind of consolidating. Pattern traders would start to observe that this can take a shape, and this looks like a symmetrical triangle, so we should, may get a breakdown. So breakdown or not, the levels to look for the bank nifty is of course below today's low and yesterday's high. Same thought, same principles as we implemented on the nifty. Relative underperformer at supports, and the candles are slowing down. So this is not a bad place for the bank nifty to settle down and then probably post a bounce back, or who knows, maybe follow through on the downside. But there are strong stocks which are at pretty decent supports after a pretty significant correction and should support the bank nifty. We'll talk about it in a bit. So I think my view on the market stays the same as we've been talking about. Top stocks, of course, Reliance. We do not get to see this kind of a 6.3% kind of a move from this stock that often, but what a move it was. Where are we for Reliance? Let me remove this. We had a complex correction, and this was the first Fibonacci target. This was the second Fibonacci projection target, right below the 2300 mark. The recent lows for Reliance was 2315, so not bad. The 75-minute time frame will clearly show you a nice positive divergence, kind of over here, this zone, an intermediate positive divergence, which gives this move. The point of control, if you notice here, 2477, let's say 2480 kind of level, confluences with these lows and this point of control confluences, and that's exactly where it breached today and managed to sustain well. This is a pretty good looking Heikin-Ashi move. Last time it reacted exactly from this anchored VWAP, and this anchored VWAP now stands at 2540. After 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive positive bars in the 75-minute time frame, a stock generally always consolidates, and it will consolidate. Pretty long ranged candlestick on the daily chart, so supports will be much lower, down. If we use the bare minimum support, today's low 2363 is way below. Is it a shorting opportunity? This stock is in a downtrend. It has given a very sharp bounce back. Can we look to short? I would suggest, based on the daily chart, there can be a possibility later, but not right now, definitely, because after such a strong move, you should not think of short yet. Let it slow down, then maybe. But I would say the strongest stock at this juncture in the market is Bharti Airtel. If you notice, the biggest gainers today, Reliance being a stock which is in a downtrend, gave a bounce back. ITC is ITC, uptrend, downtrend, doesn't sustain in either way. So let's keep aside ITC. It's completely a different genre in itself in terms of its price movement. Infosys is stuck. We just took a look at Bharti Airtel, exceptional strength. Kotak Bank is in a downtrend, bouncing back just like Reliance. Tata Motors stuck. We've got through a breakout failure. This is not a good sign for the stock. So has shown signs of recent weakness. HCL Tech in a downtrend, bouncing back. Sun Pharma in a downtrend, bouncing back, and you will see this nature. So what we're looking at is majority of the stocks in the top 17 are in a downtrend and bouncing back. So they need to do much more to move on back to an uptrend and show some strength. It's just Bharti Airtel and some odd stocks which are showing strength. Larsen and Toubro, of course, is one stock which will fall under the category of Bharti in terms of relative strength. But moving forward from a short-term perspective, I think one should start looking at Maruti for a short-term bounce back. If you're a short-term trader, intraday or 1 to 2 day kind of a short-term trader, then Maruti should be there in your radar. iBank should be there in your radar. Hindustan Lever should be in the radar of medium to long-term investors. Don't trade this from a short-term perspective. HDFC is weakening, so one should start to observe. We did see some decent amount of weakness coming in HDFC. State Bank is in a very tricky situation. If you zoom in and look at today's low in the futures, was around 487.3, yesterday 487.9. So this 487 level in the futures market can act as a breakdown for the stock. So keep a very close look at. So as you individually look at stocks, nothing stands out that significant. Nothing looks really good that you'll jump off your seat and feel that this is the stock to go for. So as I was saying a few days back, this is a tough market. we need to be really good to be able to trade profitably and pick some really good stocks which will go our way, or else the whipsaw, the volatility will definitely lead to some whipsaws. So stay careful, please. Let's go to the Iris Plus software, and I have not yet downloaded my data because expiry days data comes late, and so I have kept it at 3:30 p.m. rates, and I will quickly do the scan in front of you. On the days of derivatives expiry, this data comes really late, at times 9, at times 10 o'clock. So I didn't want to wait for that, and I thought that I will keep the software. I will not shut down the software. I'll keep the rates of 3:30 p.m. and accept the delivery percentage. Rest of the scans we should be able to do without much issues. So inside bar, Tata Motors looks okay. It is a bearish Rami also, but I wouldn't trade this stock on the upside, primarily because just 2-3 days back it proved itself as a breakout failure. Generally, a stock, when it fails a breakout, leads to significant downside on the opposite side of the breakout. So yes, it's an inside bar and a bullish Rami pattern, but not interested. Mindtree relatively better off for a short-term trader. Havells can be a good move above today's high, 13.95 in the cash market. You can take a look at, because it's consolidating after moving into an uptrend. The bigger picture is it's stuck in a range. So for a short-term trader, intraday trader, yes, possible. Tech Mahindra, range pretty wide. SBI Life is not looking that good. It's an inside bar. It's completely a doji. It's in a downtrend, so it's not so promising. Natco Pharma is trying to bottom out. Ramco Cement is creating a base for itself. It's started to kick in some divergences, so medium to long term investors can start to look into this stock. LTTS, TCS, yes, this looks good. Though stuck in a range, but it's got some supports here. It's proven supports down in these levels of 33.90 all the way towards 34.30. Inside bar clearly shows a bullish Rami pattern also, which is reflecting that the stock is now consolidating. Voltas, no, not so promising, because today's body is greater than yesterday's body in terms of candlestick charts, and it's stuck also, and moving averages are sloping down. So we can get a breakdown like we saw in SBI. These two lows are very close to each other. So Voltas, you can probably keep it on your radar, and if the market surprises on the downside, you can go short on that. Indian Bank, we are looking at bullish and bearish Rami pattern. This is not a very good bearish Rami pattern because it's 2 days of bounce back. Tata Motors, TCS, Mindtree, we took a look. Emphasis, yes, not bad. LNTFH is a hammer as well as a bullish Rami pattern, and it's got a positive divergence. So yes, a gutsy move can be above 79.4. M&M Finance, nice. This is almost a bullish Rami doji kind of a pattern. ICICI Bank, not so good because there's barely any uptrend. LTI doesn't look so clean. National Aluminium stuck in a range. Astral, not bad. This we can consider this as a short-term correction for the stock. And see, this red negative candle does not have a significant body in comparison to today's body, and the range also is pretty high. So we should leave Astral behind. Cipla stuck in a range. Can Bank looks good. In fact, I had a couple of questions regarding Can Bank recently, and looks like the stock is getting some good supports from this moving average. This low coincides with this high, and consolidations after short-term corrections like this should lead to a move on the upside. So Can Bank is something we can look at. Adani Green, no. Biocon, as I was telling you, I think yesterday, are not the best of stocks to trade. Havells, we took a look, can give you a breakout on the upside. Most of these are, none of them are like really standing out. They're like, okay, possible. Top depends on the overall conditions of the market. Rest of the stocks which we clicked in terms of the Harami pattern doesn't work out that well. breakout. Voltas, you can keep a look at it below this low. Yesterday's low was 1184.5, today it's 1185, so 1184 can be an interesting level for Voltas on the downside. Can Bank, yes, possible. Bata is a good quality counter, small bodied candle today, pretty low volumes, range contracted pretty well above 2050.4, that is cash market. One can take a look at Bata. All these one can kind of possible trades will be, very short term in nature, intraday to 1 to 2, 3 days kind of trades maximum, because the market is stuck in an undecided range right now. So we don't want to hold on to our positions for a longer period of time. Mahindra and Mahindra looks promising as well, like Bata. So this guy can also give us a nice move. All depends on how the markets play out in the next few sessions. Amongst the rest, no. Oracle Long is an intraday trading setup. Havells has come here as well, so looks promising then, Havells, for the next few sessions. Infosys has seen pretty long range bar yesterday and today, so we will pass Infosys. Havells stands out. In terms of short, Indian Bank is a possibility below today's low. 1150 low is 1152.5. Please remember, Oracle is a purely intraday setup. Yeah, I think that's more or less how most of these stocks are placed right now. We won't be able to scan for delivery percentages because we don't have the post-market data. So let's see. I think the market's going back to the indices and wrapping it up. We are stuck in this range, 350, 450, 650, 750 on the upside. Break below today's low will be a confirmed sign of weakness. In that case, just pull down your gears and just stay quiet. On the other hand, a move above yesterday's high and we can have some bit of movement. Please remember that most of the stocks are in a downtrend and they're bouncing back. So whatever long trades you do, if you participate into long trades, please keep your time frames restricted, a day, 2, 3. So this is the time where you become ultra short term player or ultra long term player. In between the time frame are the ones who are likely to get whipsawed. I hope this makes sense. Do let me know what's your view on the markets and your feedback about these videos and suggestions. Till then, take care of yourself. Trade well, trade wise.